Tomorrow isn't just another day. While most people will wake up, scroll through their phones and go about their routines without a second thought, something massive is unfolding in the sky above them. February 28th marks one of the most emotionally charged, relationship-altering days of the entire year, and if you're not paying attention, you could miss the most important confession of your life. This isn't just about astrology. This isn't just about planets moving through space. This is about the unlocking. Tomorrow, the cosmic mechanism that controls how you give and receive love, your emotional language, your heart's vocabulary, it's about to be completely rewritten. And if you've been feeling like you're holding back words you desperately need to say, or like someone in your life has been hiding something from you, keep watching. Because there's one specific reason why this pressure has been building inside you, and I'll explain exactly what's happening later in this video, so stick around. But first, you need to understand why tomorrow is different from every other day this month, because what's been building throughout February, the chaos, the emotional intensity, the feeling that reality itself is unstable, it's all been leading to this exact moment. February has been preparing you for this. Think about how this month has felt. Strange, right? Like you've been living in some kind of cosmic pressure cooker, and there's a reason for that. This entire month has been an initiation, a gauntlet designed to break down your old ways of connecting, communicating, and loving. It started with Uranus going direct on February 3rd, the planet of sudden disruption and awakening resuming its forward motion, shaking the foundations of everything you thought was stable. Then came the solar eclipse on February 17th. A complete reset of your social networks and collective ideologies. Nothing was random, everything was preparation. But the real shock came on February 20th. Saturn and Neptune collided at 0 degrees Aries, a generational alignment that happens once in a lifetime. When the planet of hard reality meets the planet of dreams and illusions, and they merge at the very beginning of the zodiac, the alpha point of creation, it means one thing: the old world is dissolving and a new paradigm is being born. Most people felt it. That strange sense that the ground beneath their feet wasn't solid anymore, that overwhelming feeling of both terror and possibility. That's because Saturn-Neptune doesn't just shift external structures. It floods your consciousness with a desperate need for authentic connection. When everything outside feels unstable, you instinctively reach for what's real: love. And that's exactly what tomorrow delivers. 6 planets will align in the sky, but only you will see what it really means. Here's something most people won't even notice. Tomorrow evening, if you look toward the western horizon just after sunset, you'll witness something extraordinary. 6 planets, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter, will be visible in a grand alignment stretching across the sky. For casual observers, it's just a pretty sight, a cosmic coincidence, but you know better, because when 6 planetary bodies cluster along the same celestial pathway, their energies don't just coexist, they collide, they merge, they amplify each other. And right there, low on the horizon, almost touching, you'll see 2 bright points of light standing impossibly close together. That's Mercury and Venus, the planet of the mind and the planet of the heart, locked in a cosmic embrace so tight they appear as one. This visual proximity in the sky is the physical manifestation of what's happening in your psyche, your rational mind and your emotional heart, the 2 parts of you that usually argue, contradict, and operate on completely different frequencies, are about to merge into a single, unified voice. And when that happens, the words you've been too afraid to say will suddenly pour out of you like water breaking through a dam. Your mind has been betraying your heart until tomorrow. Let's be honest about something. For weeks, maybe even months, you've known what you feel. Deep down, beneath all the logic and the excuses and the fear, you've known exactly what your heart wants to say. But your mind kept stopping you. It's not the right time. What if they don't feel the same way? I need more evidence. I should wait until I'm absolutely certain. That's Mercury talking. Mercury is the planet of analysis, logic, critical thinking, and strategic communication. And right now, Mercury is moving backward through Pisces, the sign where logic completely dissolves. Mercury hates being in Pisces. It's like trying to use a calculator underwater. Nothing works the way it's supposed to. Facts become fluid. Words lose their precision. And that hyper-rational voice in your head that always has a counter-argument, it goes quiet. This is what's been happening to you. If you've noticed that your thoughts have been less sharp lately, if you've been spacing out more, if you've been speaking in metaphors and feelings instead of facts, that's Mercury retrograde in Pisces, forcing your mind to surrender its control. And here's what nobody is telling you. This is necessary because the confession you need to make, the one that's been locked inside you, it can't be delivered through logic. It requires something deeper, something that bypasses the intellect entirely and speaks directly from the soul. That's where Venus comes in. Venus is operating at maximum power, and it's opening your heart like never before. While Mercury is stumbling through the oceanic depths of Pisces, barely able to function, Venus is thriving. Venus in Pisces is exalted, meaning it's operating at its highest, most spiritually refined frequency. Venus represents love, affection, beauty, and connection, and when it's in Pisces, it doesn't want surface-level attraction or casual dating or strategic partnerships. It wants soul-level merging. It wants unconditional, boundary-dissolving, transcendent love. This is why your heart has been feeling so exposed lately, so vulnerable, so raw. Venus in Pisces strips away all the protective layers you normally wear, the cool detachment, the strategic withholding, the fear of being too much. All of it, gone. And if you've been crying more easily, feeling overwhelming empathy for people around you, or experiencing waves of nostalgia for past relationships, that's Venus in Pisces, opening your heart so wide that everything flows through it. But tomorrow is when Venus and Mercury finally meet. February 28th, when the mind surrenders to the heart. At 12:30 at night on February 28th, Mercury retrograde will form a perfect conjunction with Venus at 22 degrees Pisces. This is the moment. This is the unlocking. When a retrograde Mercury collides with an exalted Venus in the sign of the infinite ocean, something extraordinary happens. The mind, exhausted from trying to control and analyze and protect, finally admits defeat. It bows to the heart, and the heart, operating at maximum strength, receives this surrender with grace. Suddenly, the words that seemed impossible to say become the only words that matter, the confession you've been rehearsing in your head for weeks. It stops being a carefully crafted speech and becomes a raw, unfiltered outpouring of truth. This transit doesn't create new feelings. It unlocks what's already there. It's like someone finally gave you the key to a room in your own heart that's been locked for years. And when you open that door, everything you've been suppressing comes flooding out. The confession isn't logical, it's not strategic, it doesn't follow the rules of normal communication. It's poetic, intuitive, deeply vulnerable, and absolutely undeniable. And here's the part that should really get your attention. This alignment is happening at a very specific degree of Pisces that carries its own symbolic message. The universe is hosting a seance, and you're the medium. In degree astrology, every single degree of the zodiac carries a symbolic image. The image for 22 degrees Pisces is this: a materializing medium giving a seance. Think about what a seance is. It's a ritual where a medium uses their own vital energy to communicate with spirits from the past, ghosts, memories, unresolved voices that exist in the ethereal realm but have no physical form. That's exactly what's happening tomorrow. Mercury retrograde is dragging up the ghosts, old lovers you never got closure with, conversations that died in your throat years ago, feelings you convinced yourself didn't matter anymore. And Venus is providing the vital energy, the love, the compassion, the courage to bring those ghosts into the material world through speech. The confession you give or receive tomorrow isn't casual, it's a materialization. It's taking something that's existed purely in the realm of thought and emotion and giving it physical substance through words. You're acting as a medium for your own heart, and what comes through might surprise you. But not everyone will experience this the same way. While the entire collective is affected by this shift, there are 3 zodiac signs that are geometrically positioned to receive the full force of this cosmic confession. And if you're one of them, tomorrow could change your life. Pisces, the confession of your worth. If you're a Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, this conjunction is happening directly in your first house of identity and self. You are the anchor point. You are the channel. For years, you've been tested. Saturn and Neptune have been trudging through your sign, forcing you to build boundaries, face harsh realities, and question everything about who you are. You've been exhausted. You've been doubting yourself. You've been wondering if you're too sensitive, too emotional, too much. Tomorrow, all of that gets answered. The confession you receive is one of ultimate validation. Someone is going to step forward, maybe a partner, maybe an admirer, maybe someone from your past who you thought had forgotten you, and they're going to tell you exactly what you've needed to hear, that you're not too much, that your depth is a gift, that your ability to feel everything so intensely is exactly what makes you irreplaceable. This isn't flattery, this is truth, and because Mercury is retrograde, this confession will also bring clarity about past relationships. You'll suddenly understand why things fell apart before. You'll realize where you were seeing through Neptune's fog of illusion. The love language unlocked for you is this: you don't have to dissolve yourself to be loved. You are loved because of who you are, not in spite of it. Scorpio, the confession of the hidden obsession. Scorpio, this conjunction lands in your 5th house of romance, pleasure, and creative expression. This is the house of passionate declarations, of dramatic love, of the inner child finally being seen. You know that feeling you've been carrying, that intense private obsession with someone that you've kept locked in the vault of your mind, that person you think about constantly but would never admit it to. That creative project or romantic fantasy you've been too afraid to voice out loud. Tomorrow the vault opens. Either you're going to be compelled, almost against your will, to finally confess what you've been hiding, or the object of your affection is going to step forward first and reveal that they've been feeling the same consuming intensity. This isn't a casual "I like you", this is a soul-level admission, and because this is happening in your house of creativity, the confession might not even come through words. It might be a song, a poem, a piece of art, a handwritten letter that feels like it was torn directly from someone's chest. The love language unlocked for you is this: you don't have to control everything. True intimacy happens when you let yourself be seen in all your raw, unfiltered intensity. Taurus, the confession from the friend. Taurus, this is happening in your 11th house of friendships, networks, and future hopes. And because Venus is your ruling planet, you're operating with enhanced magnetism right now. Here's what you need to know. The confession is coming from someone you didn't expect. Someone in your friend group, someone in your social circle, someone you've been platonically connected to for months or even years. Tomorrow, that platonic boundary dissolves. Either you're going to suddenly see a friend in a completely new light, realizing that the deep, abiding connection you've been seeking has been hiding in plain sight, or that friend is going to confess feelings they've been suppressing for fear of ruining the friendship. This is going to be disorienting for you. You like predictability. You like knowing exactly what category people belong in. But Mercury retrograde is forcing you to reassess, to question your rigid definitions of love and security. The love language unlocked for you is this: true emotional safety doesn't come from controlling outcomes. It comes from trusting the organic flow of connection and being willing to let relationships evolve. What about the other signs? If you're not one of these 3, don't think you're exempt. Every sign is experiencing this shift, just through different areas of life. Aries, this is happening in your subconscious. The confession is internal, a quiet forgiveness of yourself and a release of secret guilt. Gemini, This is affecting your career and public image. The confession involves your vocational calling and finally admitting what you're truly meant to do. Cancer, this hits your travel and belief systems. The confession is about expanding beyond your comfort zone and admitting what you truly believe. Leo, this strikes your house of intimacy and shared resources. The confession involves deep psychological honesty about trust and vulnerability. Virgo, this lands in your house of partnerships. The confession is about softening your criticism and accepting imperfect love. Libra, this affects your daily routines and health. The confession is about boundaries and how you demonstrate love through daily acts of devotion. Sagittarius, this hits your home and family. The confession involves healing with family members and finally feeling like you belong. Capricorn, this affects your communication. The confession is about dropping your guarded walls and speaking from genuine emotion. Aquarius, this strikes your self-worth. The confession is internal, about finally believing you deserve unconditional love. What you need to do tomorrow. Don't overthink this. Don't try to control it. Don't rehearse the perfect speech. If you feel the pull to reach out to someone, trust it. If words are rising in your throat that you've been suppressing for months, let them out. If someone confesses something to you that seems to come out of nowhere, receive it with grace. This energy is designed to bypass your ego. It's designed to bypass your fear. It's designed to unlock the most authentic expression of your heart. Will it be scary? Absolutely. Will it feel vulnerable and exposing and possibly terrifying? Yes, but that's exactly how you know it's real. The confessions delivered under this transit aren't casual. They're not fleeting. They carry weight. They carry soul. They carry the kind of truth that changes the trajectory of your life. The aftermath. What happens after the words are spoken? Here's what you need to understand. Once you unlock this love language, there's no going back. Once you speak from this depth, once you allow yourself to be this vulnerable, once you cross that threshold, you can't uncross it. Some relationships will deepen in ways you didn't know were possible. Connections that felt surface level will suddenly reveal hidden dimensions of intimacy and understanding. Other relationships will end, because when you finally speak your truth, when you finally admit what you need and who you are, not everyone can meet you there. And that's okay. That's part of the process. The days following this transit will feel like a settling, like the dust clearing after an emotional earthquake. You might feel raw, you might feel exposed, but you'll also feel lighter. Because the weight of unsaid words, the burden of suppressed emotion, it's exhausting, and once you release it, even if the outcome isn't what you hoped for, you'll feel the relief of finally being honest. This is the gift of February 28th. It's not about guaranteeing a perfect romantic outcome. It's about unlocking the most authentic version of your heart's voice. It's about removing the barriers between what you feel and what you express. And once those barriers are gone, everything changes. The universe is giving you permission tomorrow, permission to be vulnerable, permission to speak the unspeakable, permission to let your heart lead instead of your head. Will you take it, or will you let fear win one more time? Because tomorrow is the day when silence becomes impossible. Tomorrow is the day when the ghosts of past affections finally find their voice. Tomorrow is the day when your love language unlocks and the confession that's been building inside you finally breaks free. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below, especially if you experience a confession tomorrow. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.